Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. And on this video, I'm going to break down some of the things that I uncovered with research concerning slavery and the aftermath after the Emancipation Proclamation and after the slaves were set free. So I'm going to break down why it was worse than it was portrayed on movies. Now, there's movies, what is it? Goodbye, Uncle Tom, Goodnight, Uncle Tom, Mandingo, something. I could have put a whole lot more on this. I didn't even put how they were boiling them in pots of hot scalding water. And y'all think on the cartoons, remember you saw people getting through in the pot and they was throwing carrots and stuff in there? Wonder where that came from. Who did that get done to first? I didn't even put that. It's so many things that I could have put, because I was one of the people that, and there's people on YouTube that will try to downplay slavery as well, based on things that they, information that they got from wherever they got it from. But the only thing that can be downplayed is that they brought them all over here on slave ships. You know, that wasn't as bad. The slave ship thing wasn't as bad. But we're going to get into overall why slavery was much worse than portrayed on Roots, North and South, Queen, and all those other movies. And some of y'all don't be liking the fact that I got notes, but I want to see you memorize 19 things, 19 different points that I'm going to make in regards to slavery and after slavery that made it worse than originally thought, and why none of y'all should be supporting any of these guys who are trying to side with Just Pearly. Don't feel sorry for them. They not with us. They just look like us, but they not with us. They not. And we'll need to just focus on what happened back then. We need to be advancing. We need to be working together, building the best life we possibly can right now. You know, even though it's a lot of hoaxy pokesy stuff going on that's trying to bring all of us this time into an enslavement. So let's begin. The first thing that just proves that slavery was much worse than portrayed on Roots and any of those other movies was the fake friendships that our ancestors made with the white colonists, the settlers. And they were sympathetic with them, so they made deals. They knew that those people were starving to death. They were eating each other, just all kind of stuff. So they, they wanted to help them. But it backfired. See, they don't tell y'all this. And the next thing, we're going to go through this list fairly quickly. We're going to be talking, but we're going to keep moving right along because I got 19 things I want to highlight. Number 2, guns were created. I told you about the whole thing with Winchester and other brands back then. Guns were created which were used as instruments to enslave the natives. They want y'all to believe that the natives were something else. We come from the indigenous tribes of the North Americas. A lot of us who they call black that are here right now. But to avoid paying reparations? Of course. Oh, y'all all came from Africa. Very clever scheme. Thirdly, babies and dead slaves were used as gator bait. What they were doing to some of the babies, like if they had enough slaves, they would kill the babies at birth. Shows why a lot of people don't care about babies right now, but who keeping score? It's a crying shame, man. They used to use those gators, like literally tie people to trees that were trying to escape, or that, some of their babies, they were trying to teach them a lesson for this reason or that reason. Maybe they stole some food. It was a lot of stuff. And they used them as bait in those swamps with the gators, different territories. They were using babies and dead slaves as gator bait. Like for one, if they knew a slave escaped, they would put gator bait out there. Like they would spread it out because the gators can smell it, and they just expect the gator kill a slave. Like, okay, well, he gone, we can't get him, so let's just make sure the gators do. Number 4, chiefs and leaders were buck broken. They were busting. Think about it, man. I know, and I ain't trying to be nasty. Of course I'm not. I'm hetero. I'm a heterosexual. But the truth is do y'all be thinking every white dude is like this? That's not the case. Them dudes was busting them chiefs, clapping them cheeks wide open on them chiefs in front of their people in their tribes, people that were part of their villages. Sometimes what was happening was people would get sold to the same plantation. And they'll find out that this was the leader, so they'll rape him, sodomize him in front of all the people that knew him. So, number 5, buck dance. They made them dance. Like, y'all think stripping is just something that came to be? No, they was making the slaves strip, male and female. And do y'all understand that there were Fruit Loop slave masters? So y'all think all of this stuff, violations of underage, y'all think all that stuff just started, huh? Think again. Which brings me to number 6. Stripping originated on plantations. Some were underage. It was way worse than you think. That's why angry man, goofy. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. You one of them people that yell, but you ignorant as hell. You yell, but you ignorant as hell. You, Anton Daniels, talking about we shouldn't get reparations. Obviously, you even admit you were a C student. I were a C student, and I'm proud of it. That's how you don't know about slavery. That's how you don't know about slavery. So, number 7, it's true. Some were transported by slave ship, bundled like sardines. People was getting sick. People was dying. Think about it. If the person next to you gets sick and y'all within centimeters apart, what's going to happen to you? It ain't like you could wear a mask. So some of them was getting thrown overboard because they was sick and they figured they can't use them. So we ain't going to nurse them back to health. Throw them overboard. And y'all really act like these people is supreme. Y'all love them. That's because y'all weird. Y'all weird. Like I say, I'm not their worst enemy, but I'm not their biggest fan. Because the fact that people still have advantages based on the color of their skin when all of this went on, why would I exalt these individuals? I don't hate them because that's not the answer. But I'm definitely not going to exalt them. So, next. Really, I got 20. Land stolen from our ancestors. Think about it. Uninhabited land. They got here first. They voyaged here. Tested their crops and their seeds and stuff. Oh, this is good soil. So they stayed. And they knew the way back and forth. A lot of them, they read the stars. That's how they knew how to get around. So they Go back and forth, bring more people, bring more people, bring more people. Next thing you know, you got all of these tribes here. Then other tribes heard about it. Here they come. So it was multiple tribes, and it was said that there were 29 groups of people here before Columbus ever even set sail or put any one of his toes on the shores of the North America. So next, prophets were kept. So we already established that they enslaved them. They basically kidnapped them and ransomed them. They had wars. They tried to fight back. But how can you fight against guns with slingshots, bow and arrows, and man-made axes, and somebody got a gun? So they stole the land from our ancestors. Next thing, prophets were kept. And that's another reason why, think about it. You get to digital cash. That'll be their excuse. Oh, well, yeah, we'll give them reparations. We'll give them to them digitally. So you accept that digital cash thing, but what you don't realize, you making a bad deal all over again. First the garden, Adam and Eve, then our ancestors in the North Americas. Now you making a bad deal all over again. So the next one, like I said, prophets kept by masters, slaves given nothing, even house Negroes were underpaid. Number 10, breeders were forced to have sex, sometimes with their own sister and mother. They put blindfolds on them, put them in dark rooms. This is where the term mother effer come from, because they literally was making them do things with their mothers. Next, natives captured, sold into slavery. Natives were captured and sold into slavery. Now, we already established that in the beginning with the fake friendships. See, they basically used them to, like, afterwards, they had already learned how to farm, so they didn't need them no more. So they like, okay, well, some will say that the war was basically to see who would control the resources. It was to keep slavery around, but it was also to see who would control the resource. Next, big slaves forced to fight with each other with money on the line. Y'all think UFC, boxing, y'all think that just started? The only difference now is the actual fighter gets paid as well. But at first, it was the money going to the master. Next, masters and overseers lied, gossiped, and, basically slandered the slaves to keep them at odds with each other. That was one of the things that was done. Brings me to my next thing. Families sold away from each other to stop escape plots. Think about it. Think about if somebody came in your house right now and took somebody and you never heard from them again. That does happen. And there's rumors for organs and different reasons. This stuff's still going on. But the next thing, women constantly raped and treated like prostitutes. They were literally, the masters were literally getting money for some of the fair bodied and fair faced, like the ones that look good. Like, people would come, and as they doing business, to be like, how much for her? And then they would grape. So next, I don't know why this police came, sat right in front of me and just sitting looking at me. I ain't breaking no laws. I ain't trying to hear it, man. I'm minding my own business. So, the next thing, they were not allowed to form groups. Why I say farm, sloppy right. They were not allowed to form groups or learn how to read and write. To this day, they'll stop groups. Like, if you are an effective leader, they're gonna try to kill you and then slander you and make you seem like you are a maniac or a fanatic or something like that. They do it all the time. Frame. They did it to Marcus Garvey. Next, they were constantly disrespected and viewed less than human, even though they had the same body structure, just different hair texture, different skin texture. They had the same organs, same genetic makeup as those who thought they were better than them. Now let's look at a couple factors after slavery. Then I want to get away from this dude. I don't know why he would even come by me like that. The next factor is the lynching after slavery. They didn't like the idea that these guys can go work and live and be free, have sex when they want, do what they want. So a lot of people, what they were doing is they were lynching these guys. They were cutting their wingdings off and using them as souvenirs. And what they would do, you ever seen the jar of pickles? Where do you think that concept came from? Good, he leave. Where do you think the jar of pickle concept come from? When y'all use the word picnic, where y'all think that come from? Pick a nick. Pick the one you gonna take out. The gang right up on them. See, it's reasons why they want to get rid of guns, man, but y'all ain't deep enough to figure it out. Y'all still think it's white versus black. But if they take away guns, they gonna take away white people guns and black people guns. Pay attention. So they were getting jobs and they'll go home happy. Oh, I got a job, they fired me. Or I got a job, they hired me. And then the people will be acting racist towards them and unjustly fire them. That still goes on. But not to the same extent. Like they'll literally wait till the dude buy a house and this, that, and fire him for no reason. Just for no reason, just fire. But y'all just swear by all of this interracial this and this, that. No, y'all just swear by it. I'm not saying that's a sin or it's wrong, but you need to never forget about the history of this stuff that went on. And last but not least, they were bullied. They were bullied. Think about it. It's just you and okay, let's say for instance, that's one reason why they were all living together, for safety reasons. Like you have 4 brothers, they'll all live in the same house because they have to have each other back around them racist white people. Because it'd be 3-4 truckloads of them. Yeah, and just guns and everything. Because every time they caught one of them by themselves or they outnumbered them, they was in the trees. Now I'm finna show you something. And you Christians, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not going to try to destroy y'all faith. But the one that they called Jesus, why you think they did him like that? It says, cursed is everyone that's hung from a tree. So when they was putting them in trees, what they were really doing, they were doing voodoo. They thought they were cursing their bloodline by hanging them from trees. And all of y'all who had a white savior complex, like it's a such thing, like six, the goddess told Anton, if that was the case, why would they put him on the tree? Think about it. Think about this now. Think about all the people that were placed in trees that we don't know their names. We don't know, we don't know who our ancestors was. Some of them was our ancestors getting lynched. I told y'all they did it to my grandfather. They didn't put him in a tree, but they poisoned him. I don't know. I think I don't know if he ate from a restaurant or what he did, but they poisoned him. And as soon as he died, they were auctioning off his land because that's what they was after anyway. He was a preacher in his time, and that's how they did him. and she want to laugh. Then she try to get mad when they call her ugly. You ain't pretty. Not to me. I mean, it's a matter of opinion. To me, you're not pretty. You're not. Like, I can't imagine me trying to smash you. Why would I? Just Pearly. So, you deserve every harsh word that you get. How you laughed at slavery. All the lives that were lost. Dealing with that slavery narrative. And you laughed at it. And Nick, you little punk. You sweet. You little softy. You better have 3 truckload. You ain't gonna get nobody. You ain't gonna do nothing to nobody by yourself. You'll get your A double snake whooped. Weak little dude. You definitely can't whoop me. If me and you put on the gloves, you don't stand a chance. Me personally, I don't think you could even get a hit in. I don't believe it. And if you did, it probably wouldn't move me at all. You need laws and fraud and all this other garbage that they did back then to get a person like me. You're a clown. And you Latino. You disrespecting your Latino blood. You're Latino. You're not all you. The Aryans will look at you. They will make you put you on rent in these prisons. Like the nerve of you. Who you think you are, man? You ain't Aryan. That's what they'll tell them. And then it's crazy how you disrespect your ancestors who also were enslaved. And some of his ancestors, through his Latino blood, they formed tribes. They literally were breeding to protect themselves from those that were trying to enslave them. That's why you think the Trail of Tears, why you think that Great Divide came, that division, when they won those battles. He don't respect the Latino in him. To no Latino that knows the history be trying to be racist against blacks. That might be your cousin. You see, y'all don't be knowing the history. Y'all don't be knowing the history. We don't live by the history, but we not gonna forget it either. And next time you want to go against a black, just understand that they probably lynched your ancestors and his. You're not here to be steady fighting each other. That's what they want. So they can have an excuse to take away guns. Oh, well, there's a lot of violence on the street. Like you care. You could have been stopped the violence on the street. All you got to do is put cameras everywhere. Most of these dudes don't want to go to jail. They'll straighten up. You don't care. Stop lying, man. How are you supreme? You don't do nothing but lie. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. This is The Truth Man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel.